Welcome back, Patriots. There's new QAnon. And I'm here with MAGA Girl, my correspondent. And there's quite a few drops, and they're really kind of bombshells. It's not looking so good for the Bidens, I can tell you that. And let's dive right in. So we got 4742 gives us a Twitter from John Solomon. Breaking. Senate report slams Biden's for conflicts of interest. Flags possible criminal activity. GOP-led investigation cites evidence of Burisma bribe, suspicious foreign money transfers, and SEX trafficking. Just for the sake and length of this video, I'm not going to read the article, okay? Plus, I'd probably butcher it. But I will pin it in the comments or in the description below. I know I tend to forget to do that because these videos take so long to upload that I start uploading them and then I just tend to forget, or I just tend to go to sleep and I just forget to do it. But it's not gonna happen no more. No more. Alright, so it's not looking good for the Bidens. Come on, man. You know, the thing. And then we got 4743. Crimes against humanity. Q gives us a justice.gov the Justice Department unveils proposed election 230 legislation. Okay, so it's an executive order on preventing online censorship. I got censored. I've been censored before. like I've had like 6 or 7 like 30-day bans on Facebook. So if you guys want to read, I'm not going to read it. If you guys want to go over it, you guys, you know, I'll pin this one as well. I have to keep notes. I'm always so unprepared when I make these videos, but that's how I roll, folks. I just have to remember before because I'm gonna start uploading this, and it takes like 2 freaking hours, and then I wake up the next morning and the video is done processing, but I forgot to pin all the stuff that I said I was going to do. I mean, I guess I could just, I don't know, I just forget what I do. Not a professional. And then he just posts a picture. You know, the whole Wiener laptop. Well, they seized his laptop when they found out he was sexting a 15-year-old. Hillary Clinton Foundation, crime against children. 4746. Let the truth be told. Political spying, illegal in brackets. Less than 1%. Have faith in humanity. Q. Excuse me. 4747 gives us a picture of drop 3837. Bigger than you can imagine. More than selling of state secrets, more than selling of US security, more than selling of military technology, more than selling of CIA, Clowns in America assets, more than selling of NSA bulk data collection programs, more than selling of uranium, more than selling of US space national security programs and positions, more than selling of US aid, more than selling of SAPS, I forgot what that one meant. Class 1 through 99. Crimes against humanity. When you cannot destroy / defeat the United States of America by attacking head on, you change tactics and deploy a kill from within. Internal operation. Financial / economy. Military / police. Division of citizenry. Border collapse. Install like-minded leaders in key positions of U.S. government. All in brackets. How many people removed from the FBI had Iranian family backgrounds? The silent war continues. Q. Bigger than you can imagine. Oops. And then we get a NY Post. Senate report links Hunter Biden to prostitution or human trafficking ring. What the heck? Sorry about that. I was hitting the wrong button. No media coverage? Question mark. Why? Question mark. The same people who control the media are the same people who are part of the evil and corrupt system. System of control? Crimes against humanity? You are not meant to think for yourself. You are not meant to challenge their power. Control. Obey and accept. Illusion of democracy. Illusion of freedom. Why does the media push division? Why does the media incite violence? Why does the media pit race versus race? Why does the media pit religion versus religion? Why does the media pit sex versus sex? Why does the media pit class versus class? Divided you are weak. Divided you fight each other. Divided you pose no threat to their system of control. Unity is strength. Unity is power. Unity is humanity. Controlled media plays a major role in shaping the narratives to keep you powerless, helpless, and asleep. Unaware of truth, in brackets, enemy of the people, enemy of humanity. And MAGA girl will agree with me. When Trump keeps bringing up fake news, enemy of the people, that's a straight fact. And if people cannot grasp that idea, but why would the news lie to me? And there you go. MAGA girls pointing it out to you, folks. Woo, woo, woo. I'm stupid. Oh, shoot. And then everyone has a choice to make against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
Group called QAnon could have a significant influence in the upcoming election. QAnon first surfaced back in 2017.
Always happens to me.
Now it maintains that President Trump is leading a war against liberal elites who, according to QAnon, are running a global sex trafficking network, including some very famous people. Now, there is zero evidence, zero, that any of this is true. Tonight's episode of 60 in 6 takes an inside look at QAnon. 60 in 6 features 60-minute style storytelling in episodes that last around 6 minutes or so. It airs on the streaming app Quibi, is produced by CBS News, which is part of a Viacom CBS, an investor in Quibi. 60 and 60 correspondent and founder of Media, Media, that's Lori Siegel, spoke with leaders of the movement.
Dustin Nemos is a part of the QAnon community, and it's also how he makes a living.
This is Dustin Nemos of the Nemos News Network.
Nemos posts on his YouTube channel several times a week, sometimes several times a day.
Should we talk a little bit about COVID
and considers himself a seeker of truth in a fake news world.
COVID is the biggest lie fake news has ever told.
How can you say that when you look at the numbers?
Well, I don't trust the numbers, first of all. In New York, they supposedly had hashtag Warzone hospitals. I had friends and audience members going out there with their cell phones saying it's a ghost town. No one's here.
You're talking to someone who is in New York. You're talking to a crew of folks who experienced a lot of this firsthand.
Well, why were the hospitals empty when these people went there?
You saw it on YouTube. We saw it in real life.
We saw it from you. We heard your version. No offense. We don't trust you guys.
As someone who was in New York City in the height of COVID,
Yes.
who had friends in the hospital, I can tell you it just as simply isn't true.
We had whistleblower nurses who went into this and exposed what was happening. Hospitals were actually monetized and incentivized to lie about COVID patients.
What evidence do you have besides online speculation?
There's months now of documented evidence for this.
What kind?
Various articles. The Gateway Pundit and Zero Hedge has
Where?
put out many
What
of them.
kind of article?
Nemos News Network, if you want to go
That's your
search
network.
Absolutely. I've been covering this since the beginning, so I've covered every bit of it.
You know, more than 200,000 Americans have died since the pandemic. I know CBS has been reporting on these stats and has knowledge firsthand. So obviously a pretty tense exchange there. You see, we're almost living two different versions of the truth, Gail.
Yeah, I'm curious about how you kept your face on straight, Lori, but I am wondering, how did they gain so many followers based on all of these false theories?
Yeah, I mean, I think this movement is growing so quickly, and you have this mysterious figure Q who drops these predictions online, and people are really, really following this. And you know, I think it's actually a perfect storm. You have the disenfranchisement of people. You have this pandemic where people are turning online, and then you also have this growing distrust of mainstream media. You have the coining of fake news. You have misinformation spreading online, and it really has created a perfect storm that's led to Q.
Yeah, it's very frightening. What are some of the main misconceptions?
You know, I think this is something we can't ignore. I've covered internet movements my whole career for the last decade, and this is unlike anything I have ever covered. These aren't just people who are in their mom's basement, right? This is a movement people really find appealing. You know, you have nearly 100 state and congressional candidates that are circulating the messages of Q. 29 have won primaries. Being on the ground, you begin to really understand that people are, you know, looking for some type of leadership, looking for something different. They're almost forming their own political party online. So I really don't think we can ignore this, and I don't think we can ignore how quickly this is spreading.
And when they circulate the messages that you speak of, what are the political implications of that?
I mean, extraordinary implications. When you're on the ground, one of the interesting things, Gail, is when we were in this rally, and it was a pretty intense environment with the media, you know, they're filming you as you're filming them because they distrust the media. But I think the big question is what's going to happen when we head towards the election, and will they accept the results? You know, I actually spoke to a lot of folks inside the rally. Listen to what they said.
President Trump's going to get reelected.
What if he's not reelected?
Well, he's going to be reelected.
But what if he's not reelected?
If President Trump is not reelected, then that's for the American people to decide if the elections were fair. I think there's going to be a lot of very angry Americans that he wasn't reelected.
It won't happen. The only way it'll happen is with your vote fraud, not their vote fraud. So what happens if he doesn't? Then the military will probably step in.
The question is, will this online movement move offline? And I think that's what a lot of us are wondering, and a lot of experts who are looking at this are wondering, and will they accept results regardless? And I think that's what I really heard on the ground, because one of the things to note about QAnon is Donald Trump is really that guiding force. They look for cues and signs in anything Trump tweets and anything he says, Gail.
And who is Q, Lori? Are you able to figure out who is it, male, female group? Who is this person or group?
Right, I had this question. I was like, you know, everyone is talking about Q and going on and on about, you know, these predictions that haven't come true. And what's interesting is no one knows who Q is. Q is, and when you go into these groups, a lot of these folks, they don't want to know who Q is, and they're not interested in that. And so Q is this mysterious figure who's posting, and it could be one person, it could be many people who's posting these predictions, and so it's almost, you know, I put it like this, it's almost the gamification of conspiracy theories, where it's like these people believe in doing their own research and looking up their own stuff, and down the rabbit hole of the internet, they can find truth in anything, and they don't know who Q is, nor do they care.
All right, Lori, thank you very much. You can watch Lori's full story today on 60 and 6 on the mobile streaming app Quibi.
4750. Who controls, wields significant influence regarding the Clinton Democratic Party? Where's Huma? Where's Huma Abedin? Where did she go? All of a sudden, she like disappeared off the face of the planet? Like, what in the world? Where is she? F this guy. Timestamp. All right. I'll slowly scroll. Y'all can just pause the video. Read it for yourself, because I'm not going to read it. Who controls, wields significant influence regarding the Hussein Democratic Party? Different factions of foreign primary control. Who paid Hussein's Harvard Law degree? If you haven't, if you don't know that one, you'll find out. Who financed Hussein's political life? Who is Prince Al-Lawid bin Talal? Why are Hussein's school records under seal? Competing factions with a horse in the race seeking direct White House control, plus U.S. military, plus trillions overseas, transfer of U.S. taxpayer funds. Your money, folks. All working together, coordinated, infiltration, non-invasion. Alright, this last part I don't know how to decode. What happens to U.S. taxpayer funds transferred overseas under guise of aid? Military, climate, etc. U.S. taxpayers funding The destruction of America? Q. And then yeah, I've posted this meme like years ago. But it just pretty much relates to me. These are the four families that run and own California pretty much. Brown, Pelosi, Newsom, and the Gettys. Gives you a chart how they're all connected to each other. John Solomon, I guess after he tweeted that that Biden story, he got locked out. 4753 just gives us a that was back in December 11, 2015, before Trump was even president. Dopey Prince at Alawi Tallah wants to control our U.S. politicians with daddy's money. Can't do it when I get elected. Boom. And then this is the last one, 4754. I don't know why, but I have like the biggest crush on Laura Ingraham. I don't know why. And I'm not afraid to say that. I think she's hot. President needs to say this in every speech. We know at CNN, at MSDNC will not tell you this COVID truth. The U.S. government last week updated the survivor rates regarding if infected for COVID-19. Fake news, enemy of the people, folks. There's no need for us to be wearing these stupid masks and stuff. The world is waking up. Virus or election? Q. Let me refresh, see if there's no new drops. Okay, that's it. That's all I have for you folks. Thank you for watching. Be safe out there. Where we go one, we go all worldwide.